The South Korean film Parasite just won the award for the Best Picture of the Year. It bills itself as a film about economics and the disparities between the haves and the have-nots, showing us how oblivious the haves are to the needs and conditions of the poor, but also showing us how desperate the have-nots are to get some piece of the pie that has been out of reach for them. But even though economics is the frame for this film, I think it's really a film about human nature, and that's what I want to focus in on. If you stop to think about what aspects of human nature come out in the film, the obvious things are things like deceit and greed. Those are the low-hanging fruit that anybody can see that that's in the film. As I thought about it further, though, I came up with the idea that it really is about being self-absorbent as a person. Everyone in the film is self-absorbed, and I don't think I'm giving any spoilers for those of you that haven't seen it. It's a film about human self-absorbance and how disastrous that is for society. When people have nothing to live for except money, and that's what we're watching, is the collapse of society, so to speak. But it reminded me, or at least made me think, that this is the American dream. The American dream and the whole idea behind democratic capitalism is, how can I gain more than I have, and how can I keep what I have gained? We know there's a debate right now going on in our country as to what kind of a country we're going to be. Whether we want to be a democratic capitalist country or whether we want to be a democratic socialist country. And this debate and discussion, we know, is at least going to be present with us for at least the next number of months until the upcoming election in November, but possibly long after that. I think what we're going to see is that people are going to vote for the system that they think will bring them the American dream. People will vote for the system they think that will allow them to get more money and that will allow them to keep what they have gained. If I had to put the film in one sentence, I think I would say what the film is about is that the only person who matters is me. Which, of course, made my mind shift to Christianity, and of course my mind always goes towards shifting towards Christianity because that's my worldview, and that's the worldview I want to operate and grow in. But I want to say this, that Christianity is not a system, despite what some Americans think. Christianity is not a system of good living and good citizenship. What Christianity is having a good relationship with God. Now, it's true that if one has a good relationship with God, one will also live well, and one will also be a good citizen. But the worldview of the only person who matters is me is a worldview that's doomed to failure, as the film so effectively shows. And I want to show how it is a worldview that's doomed to failure by bringing out three aspects. First of all, it is an impossible foundation for a relationship with God. God calls us to deny ourselves. The only way to effectively approach God is with a contrite heart that takes a position of submission before God. It is not possible to have a love for God if we are absorbed with a love for self. Secondly, it is an impossible foundation for living well. Whether you're rich or poor, moral or immoral, the best you can hope for with this mindset is ignoring the needs of others or using others to meet your needs, both of which undermine the whole concept of living well. The only way to truly live well is a mindset that values other people. The third aspect is that it's an impossible foundation for good citizenship. Neither capitalism nor socialism, and not even communism, will work where the outlook is my rights, what benefits me, and what meets my needs. Any society oriented toward the rights of the individual, rather than being responsible for the community, will eventually collapse in on itself in civil unrest and intolerance.